Hello everybody, this is Harpreet Kaur from English Rock Club. I hope you all are fine and taking care of yourself. Hope you all are safe at your homes. Today I have come up with the third level lesson mind map for class 12 students from the book Vistas. Let us explore what is there in the summary through mind map. So let's begin with the mind map now. The name of the chapter is The Third Level. First of all, the chapter begins with a confusion between the authorities and our protagonist, that is Charlie. There are two views. According to the authorities, the Grand Central Railway Station has levels, those are only two levels. But Charlie is of the view that there are three levels at the Grand Central Railway Station. The authorities vouch it on the timetables that there is no train available from the third level, therefore, there is no existence of the third level. But Charlie says that he has visited the third level and the third level exists. Further, in the chapter, we come to see that Charlie consulted the doctor because everybody tells him to consult a doctor because he was, according to them, he was suffering from some mental disorder. He was living in some illusion. So he said that he had taken the obvious step, that is consulting a psychiatrist who was his friend named Sam. Now let us look at what was Sam's opinion about his position. So according to Sam, it was just a waking dream wish fulfillment. According to him, he is living a dream. So and it is also an escape from the realities because at that time it was an era of war, uncertainty, tension, anxiety, and everything was going on. So Charlie wasn't able to hold it, therefore he wanted to escape from the realities. So let us further see what Charlie thinks. So, due to war, unrest, and stress, he was escaping from the reality, according to Sam. But according to Charlie, there was something else. His friends thought also that the stamp collection, it was the hobby of Charlie, and Charlie's friends thought that it was a temporary refuge from reality. Someone who wants to take a refuge from reality, someone who wants to take a break from the reality, he or she gets into some kind of hobby. And Charlie has also taken this hobby of stamp collection. But Charlie is of the different view. Charlie says that his grandfather also used to be a stamp collector. He used to collect the first day covers. Moreover, the President Roosevelt was also a stamp collector. He was also a philanthropist. Then how can his grandfather, who was living quite a long time back when there was no war, no unrest, it was quite peaceful, they have taken this hobby, and President Roosevelt was the president, and so how could he have some kind of tension? So this was Charlie's view about his stamp collection. Let us look further what's there in the story. Charlie reaches the third level. Now let's explore how Charlie reaches the third level for the first time. It so happened that it was a summer night. He was quite late in the office. And then he wanted to reach home in a hurry. So he thought of taking the subway at the Grand Central instead of taking bus that he used to take on regular basis. When he reached the third level, he started walking. When he reached the second level, he started walking and he got lost. He got lost and feels that Grand Central was a tree with many branches. Whenever he used to visit Grand Central, he went into from one corridor to another corridor. In this way, he considered Grand Central Railway Station as a tree that has branches that are intermingled with each other. And when he got lost, he came into a corridor that was quite lonely, and he hears his own footsteps. It echoed, and he was really surprised that the platform used to be very it was quite rush at the platform, but that day it seemed that everything was very quiet, and he could hear his own footsteps. And in this way, he reached the third level. So let's look at what happened at the third level when Charlie reached at the third level for the first time. The scene is described like this, that he noticed that the platform was quite different. There were smaller rooms, fewer ticket windows, and the lights that were depicted there were gas lights. It were flickering flame. It had a flickering flame, whereas regular lights were different at the railway station. He further noticed that the ancient looking information booth, the information booth looked ancient. It was quite back in time, as if he has reached it in some ancient place. And people used to have they were wearing old fashioned dressings with long sleeves, bell sleeves, and they have mustaches, style mustaches and sideburns. That was all as if people were dressing themselves in late 19th century. And then he was very surprised. He wanted to confirm that whether he where he was. So he saw the newspaper vendor. He was selling a newspaper, and the name of the newspaper was Herald. He was very surprised that Herald was not at all in publish at that time. And when he looked at a newspaper, the main heading was Story of President Roosevelt was on the cover page. And President Roosevelt was in the president in late 19th century. Nowadays, he was not the president of United States. Further, he looked at the ticket window and he thought of that it is a time that he can purchase the ticket and he can get the experience of going to his dream destination, that is Galesburg. From here he can move back to Galesburg where his grandfather used to live, and he can spend some quiet time with his wife Louisa. So he wanted to have two tickets for Galesburg, one for him and one for his wife. He wanted to visit there because it used to be very peaceful in 1894. It was 20 years from the First World War and the Second World War, yet 40 years away. Then when at the time of purchasing the ticket, he gave the currency, he gave the bills, those were outdated. The ticket collector was very surprised to see at the bills, and he looked at him sternly. He stared at him as if Charlie was trying to dupe him, and he forbade, he refused to accept the bills. Charlie thought that it was good idea to run away because going to jail in late 19th century was also not a good idea. Now let us explore what's in the chapter next. Further, we come to know that Charlie purchases old currency. He had a reserve of $300 and he spent all those $300. He withdraws $300 from the bank, and then he went to the currency exchange point to get it exchanged. Sam, his psychiatrist, was a little worried. He thought that Charlie has started living his dream for so long. He has gone quite far away in his dream, and he has started spending his savings also to live his dream. Charlie received $200 in exchange of $300, but he did not mind for that because He was not worried that he had got less amount for the dollar 300. Firstly, he was desperate to go there, and moreover, he thought that it was less expensive in 1890s, as eggs were quite they used to get more than a dozen in 1 cent only. Now let's move further and see what is given in the chapter next. So Charlie wanted to buy the tickets. He had exchanged the currency, so he started looking for the third level. Let's look about his quest for the third level. Now further in the story, Charlie kept on looking for the third level. He again and again repeatedly went to Grand Central, but he failed to find the third level. His wife Lozia was very worried about that he's going so beyond in his dream that she got tensed. Then she suggested Charlie to resume his stamp collection hobby once again. Stop looking for the third level and come back to his hobby of stamp collection. So let's see what happened. In the meantime, Sam disappeared, and Charlie thought that Sam might be in Galesburg in 1894. So, what happened one day? Charlie was looking for the first day covers. He was just rumbling with the first day cover collection of his grandfather. And he noticed a very strange thing. There was a self mailed envelope. Let us first consider what are first day covers. First day covers are self-mailed envelope with newly purchased stamps. What happens whenever a new stamp is issued? The stamp collectors purchase that stamp, put it on the envelope, and then post it on their own address without any letter in it, just with a blank paper in it. And the stamp of the post office gives this proof that the stamp was purchased on the very first day of the issue. So these envelopes with the newly purchased stamp on the very first day of its issue are called first day covers. While rumbling in the first day covers, he found something very strange. That was a letter by Sam mailed to his grandfather's address. When he opened the letter, he was very surprised that it was dated July 18, 1894, and Sam confirms the existence of third level, and he also told Charlie that the third level is worth looking for. So he advised him to keep on trying, suggested him to keep on trying looking for the third level. So Charlie was really surprised what to do now. Sam was missing, and then he started looking for some proofs that whether Sam was really at the, as he had got a letter, and then he started looking for some reality check on Sam so that he can confirm that Sam is really into Galesburg. He has passed into the time and space. He has gone back into the time and space. So he came to know that his friend Sam had $800 and he exchanged it for the old currency. And he feels that Sam had started a hay business in Galesburg because at that time in 1894, in the late 19th century, psychiatrists were not in. There wasn't any profession called psychiatrism, and therefore no mental worries were there. People did not have anxieties, so it was quite peaceful. They never needed a doctor to take care for them, so it was not in at that time. So Charlie thought that Sam always wanted to do a business, so he wanted to be into the hay business, and he thought that his friend Sam must have started the business of hay in Galesburg in the late 19th century, where he has reached through the third level. So that is all for today. So here is a glimpse of the third level for all of you, and let us meet again next time. Before that, if you like my video, kindly subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates of my video. And please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Bye for now. See you in the next video. Stay safe, stay healthy till then.